Good morning, beautiful friends. Tracy here with Just Stick It Farms, and today I'm working on sowing some herb seeds. Yay, my favorite thing. But first I thought y'all might enjoy seeing our baby goats and maybe seeing Gene for just a minute. It's been a while since y'all have seen him. So Chloe, we can't figure out what's going on with her. I swear she has to be pregnant, but she has not had her babies. Everybody else had their babies back in December, and I know when she was bred, and she should have already had babies. Look at her. I mean, she's huge, but she has not had babies. There's been no sign of miscarriage anywhere. So I don't know what's going on with Chloe. And here's our babies. Hi, babies. This one right here is the sweetest. She loves me. Hello. She was born first. On December the 21st, she was born. And she is Honey's baby. And Honey actually had 3. One of them was born at birth, and the other one was born and super healthy and beautiful, blue eyes, beautiful, and it died the next day, like for no reason. It was doing great. I don't know what happened there. So she ended up with 1. And then Annabelle had her 2. That's one of them there. It looks exactly like her. And the other one is under there nursing. Hello, baby. And then Pixie had hers around December 27th. And these are her 2. And that's the little boy. And he's got blue eyes. And her little girl. So he is the only little boy. They're all girls. Why are you biting me, Annabelle? You want some attention? Huh? They're all doing great. They're all healthy and beautiful. We're going to keep the little boy with the blue eyes. We're going to keep him for a buck. And then we're going to keep one of the little girls. And I've pretty much made my mind up. I'm going to keep Honey's little girl because she's so sweet-spirited and she loves us so much. She comes up to see us and play with us, and so I think I'm keeping her. And the other 3 girls we have for sale. They're Nigerian dwarfs, and they're beautiful. This is the little girl that loves me so much. Come here, baby. She loves to jump on my back and play. Come here. And she loves to get on my back. Hello, baby girl. Hello. She thinks I'm a play gym. Now the other ones don't want to play with me. And I come out here every day and spend about 20 minutes or so with them at least, and try to hold them and, you know, get them to be friendly and lovable toward humans. But they're just, most of them don't want anything to do with me. But this one right here loves me. She loves me. And I think that's why she's gonna be staying here with us, because she's so sweet. And she's pretty. Annabelle, stop. Stop messing with the camera, goats. Stop. Annabelle's trying to knock y'all down. So the daddy is Domino, which is you crazy goat. These goats do not like this camera. They hate it. So Domino, we got him last year, and he is a Nigerian dwarf, black and white with blue eyes. He's a registered Nigerian dwarf buck, and he is the daddy of all of these babies. It's Domino. He wants back over here with the girls, don't you, buddy? Huh? You want back over here, don't you? I know. And this is bow and arrow, and they're weathered, so they're beautiful. I wish they could make babies, but they can't. Hey, Clyde. All right, let's see what Jean's up to. What you doing? Say hello to our friends. They haven't seen you in a long time.
Hello, friends.
Let the beat drop.
Just working on a tack room. We've been wanting one for a while, and I'm gonna put some concrete in here for a floor. We got a refrigerator freezer and a smaller freezer. We're gonna put in here with our feed for our animals, and got power coming in the next month or two. They're gonna put me power to the barn and the goat barn, so I don't have to use a generator. It's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
To have a tack room, we can use the freezers to put our bee frames in it, cycle them through before we use them, and it's gonna be fantastic. And if I want a cold water, right here instead of having to track in the house.
It's gonna be nice to have everything out here.
Yes. So we're just piddling, piddling.
And making a nice tack room for all of the feed and all the animal supplies. So everything is in one nice
location,
organized, easy to access spot. I'm excited about this. So what are you doing with these boards here?
That's the edge of the concrete. It's not professional, but it's gonna work for the farm.
So he's gonna pour concrete on this floor here, just to help keep everything cleaner, right?
Yeah, because it's just so dusty and dirty. This way I can wash it out with a hose pipe if I want to, and I'm gonna have it to where it drains down.
Okay.
I got to put some flashing up here on the roof. I'm having to straighten it up a little bit because we had a huge tree that fell during the storm, and it caught the corner of this barn right here, and it kind of made it cattywampus. So I kind of pushed it over a little bit, hoping it wouldn't break, but I pushed it over a little bit. It's a little bit better.
Yeah.
But it's okay if it's not OSHA approved.
We don't care about OSHA around here. Awesome.
Now I'm just recycling some of these bricks so it don't, concrete don't pour out. Here. Just so the concrete can kind of hit something instead of pouring out.
All right, cool. I'm going to go sow seeds and pull weeds.
Oh, I want to show you what here, walk under here. I want to show you my, I'm not done, but this is awesome. My buck I killed back here, it was eating the garden. I cleaned it up. Now I got to peroxide it, and it'll get it all bleached white.
Oh.
But that's going to be a nice European mount.
So that's the guy that was eating the garden, huh?
Yeah.
That's what happens when you mess with my garden around here.
I'm letting it dry out right now. And shoot, it's in the freezer. We're gonna be eating that. It's got good just dig it lettuce and spinach and turnips and everything in it.
All my fall garden that we were supposed to be eating.
Sweet potato leaves.
The deer ate it all.
He mowed it like a...
Yep, Gene's a big deer hunter, and he got us some deer this year for our freezer, which we eat deer meat all year long. That is venison. That is a very lean, healthy meat. We use it for everything. Spaghetti, chili, everything. But he also, this year, he took the fat around the organs and I rendered it down and made tallow. That's tallow. So I've rendered some tallow this year, and I'm gonna whip up some tallow face cream for my face. So I'm excited to give that a try this year. All right, I used tallow. My friend Jacqueline over at Cowbell Farms, y'all go check her out if you're not following her. She makes the best tallow balm for your face, and I love it, and I get it from her. But I'm gonna give it a try and see if I can do it. So let's go sow some seeds. Jean's cousin Brenda gave me this cool little gadget that you can put your camera on and it follows you. Man, I'm having fun with this thing. This is awesome. If you're watching, Brenda, thank you. I love it. It's incredible, really. Look, see, it follows me. Isn't that so cool? All right, so, whoops. So, a little bit windy out here today. I hope the volume's gonna be okay. I've got my seed collections here from Hoss. We partnered with Hoss 3 years ago now and created these awesome medicinal herb seed collections. And I used all my seeds. So Greg and Sheila over at Hoss sent me 2 more collections. So in these collections, they're super awesome, y'all. So we've got a deluxe and we've got a premium. And each collection comes with these informational cards, which tell you all about the uses, the medicinal uses, and then on the back of them, it tells you all about planting, sowing the seeds, and growing directions. And there's a QR code on each one that you can scan, and it will take you to their website, which will give you a lot more information about each herb. So I partnered with them and helped give them all of this information, and we curated these wonderful collections. And then each collection also comes with these neat plant stakes. Now these plant stakes are made out of some kind of plastic, but they are super durable. These will last your lifetime. Now the label may not, but the stake will last your lifetime. And this was all made in the USA. So these collections I'm really proud of these collections. They're 20 seeds that I thought would be really great herbs for somebody that was beginning in growing their own herbs or in herbalism to start with. And each one of them has so many different uses, medicinally, culinary, teas, tinctures. You can do so many different things with each individual herb. One thing I did want to mention, because I know some of you will ask, because you've asked before, but these information cards are only available if you buy the collection. You can't buy these individually. So just to let you know that. We are affiliates with Hoss Tools, and if you want to order these herb collections or anything else from Hoss, we would appreciate it if y'all would use our special link that I'll put in the description below if you're wanting to order these, and we get just a little bit of commission off of each sale. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it just helps us out here at the farm. Okay, so in our herb collections, this is the premium, and it has, these are the herbs that's in it. We've got horehound, we've got hyssop, anise hyssop, feverfew, bee balm, catnip, yarrow, mullein, and motherwort. So that is the premium collection. I'm not going to be sowing all of these today because I've been growing these together with y'all on YouTube for the past 2 years, and I have plenty of some of these in my garden. But if you are new to growing any of these herbs, starting them from seed, or you've just purchased our collections and you want to know how to start the seeds, then I have a whole herb playlist in YouTube here that you can go over and watch for the past few years of us doing this together. All right, so this is the Deluxe collection, and in this one is lemon balm, purple coneflower or echinacea, chamomile or chamomile, peppermint, holy basil or tulsi, lemon drop, toothache plant, spilanthes, broadleaf sage, this is just your common garden sage, calendula, the Prince mix, and roselle hibiscus. Now, one of these collections did have hops in it, but they took it out of the collection because it's so hard to germinate. Hops is really, really hard to germinate, and so is passion flower. So they've took those both out of the collection. I did get them to germinate, and I've got them growing out in my garden right now, but they are a little bit more difficult to get them to germinate. So we wanted to keep this easy for the first time herb gardener, or if you were just beginning your herb garden and just starting to grow herbs. The secret, I think, to starting herbs from seed, I've heard so many different people say that starting herbs from seed is really difficult. And I think the big secret to it is most, not all, but most of your herb seeds needs light to germinate. And a lot of these herb seeds are super, 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 super tiny, and you just want to sow them at the top of your soil, and then just either lightly cover it, or maybe get some perlite, which are these little white pebbles. They help hold moisture and retain moisture and release it into the soil. Kind of put that on the top of the seed really lightly, but for the most part they need light to germinate, and most people sow their herb seeds too deep. So I think that's the biggest thing. And some of your herb seeds need cold temperatures to germinate. Just like a lot of your wildflowers that bloom early spring, they need to go through the winter and get those cold temperatures before they'll germinate. So things like, as far as wildflowers, things like larkspurs and poppies and Johnny jump ups and all of those beautiful wildflowers that we love in the early spring, we like to sow those in fall and winter and let them get those cold temperatures, and then they'll bloom early spring. And then some of your wildflower seeds like zinnias and cosmos and coreopsis and seeds like that, we sow those in early spring because they need a little warmer temperatures to germinate, and then they'll bloom in the summertime. So that's the case with some of your herbs like echinacea, hops, horehound, motherwort. Those are a few that's in our collection that needs those cold temperatures to germinate. I'm looking at my little calendar here where I have everything, when to sow what on this calendar. Now you can trick the seed. I'm watching chickens. You can trick the seed into getting those cold temperatures by a process called cold stratification, where you take the seed, moisten a paper towel, put a few seeds on your paper towel, how many ever you want to sow. Fold them up, put them in a Ziploc, put them in your refrigerator for anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks, and then sow your seed. And that will give them those cold temperatures that they need. Some of your seeds do better when you scarify them or scarify them, scarification process. So some seeds that are bigger, that have that harder shell on them, then they do best if you kind of nick the seed a little bit or sand the seed a little bit and then let it soak in water for anywhere from 4 to 24 hours, just depends. But they'll do better if you do that. Now, I have sown a lot of these seeds without doing either one of those processes, and they've come up, and then sometimes they haven't. And then when I have done those processes, I've pretty much always gotten really good germination rate. So I think it's good just to be mindful of knowing your seed, what seed you're sowing, and knowing what that seed requires to germinate. And I think that's the big secret to starting herbs from seeds. So from the Deluxe collection, I'm going to start, we're going to hold off on Roselle. I'm going to wait till next week to sow it. I'm going to start some calendula, some sage, some toothache plant. Now this toothache plant, or Spilanthes, is an annual for us. This is hardy in zones like 9 to 11, I believe, and I'm a zone 8B. So this will die back. As soon as we get a frost, this will die and it won't come back. So I have to grow it as an annual here. So I redo this every year. Holy basil, I'm gonna hold off on this and start it next week. Peppermint for sure. Chamomile, I need lots of it. Echinacea, I have plenty of it. And lemon balm, I have plenty of it, but I do want to plant some more because I'm using a lot of lemon balm these days to make up some tea blends. So these are the ones I'm going to start first. We'll start with lemon balm. Lemon balm, the gladdening herb, uplifts your spirits, helps fight colds and flus, and it's just a really good nerve on. It helps calm your nerves and your nervous system. All right, look at how super tiny this lemon balm seed is, y'all. It's so tiny. That is probably 50 seeds right there. Look how tiny that is. So remember, I'm just gonna lightly sprinkle some, more than one, because I want to make sure I get some germination on this. Just lightly sprinkle your seed there. Went ahead and wrote out my labels for these that I'm gonna sow, and I just realized I don't have any perlite, which stinks, because that's what I really like to sprinkle over these little seeds. All right, next I'm gonna do some chamomile, and I want to do quite a bit of it. And these seeds are really tiny too, y'all. Super tiny, almost like dust. So I sow quite a few seeds and just let it, whatever come up, and then I just take the whole clump and plant it out in the garden whenever it's up and established enough. Chamomile is another really great calming herb. I'm sure you've heard of sleepy time tea, but it also has many other medicinal benefits as well. It is anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial. It helps to soothe pain, skin issues. It is digestive, sedative, of course, antifungal, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory. I'm looking at our little informational card here, y'all. It has all that information on it for you. But chamomile has many health benefits to it. So I make up this tea, and we have named it thanks to one of our sweet followers on our live. She named it for us. Well, a couple of people suggested this name. Just Diggin' Z's is what we're calling this tea. So it is a blend of chamomile and anise hyssop and catnip and a few other wonderful calming herbs. So I want to make sure I grow plenty of it, and I will be sowing more chamomile as well. This is just to get me started. I'll sow more next week. Next, we're going to do spilanthes, or toothache plant, or lemon drop. It's got many different names. Bullseye plant. It's got a lot of different names. But the botanical name is spilanthes, and that's what it looks like. And this is really good as an antidepressant, hypnotic, anti-anxiety, nervine, antioxidant, a sedative, a diaphoretic, and analgesic. And the cool thing about this plant is it has a numbing effect. It will numb your gums, a toothache, your mouth, your throat. It completely numbs it. Now it's crazy, it makes you salivate, like it gives a really weird feeling, but if you take a lot of it. But I made up a tincture with it. You can use the leaves and flowers, and I make a tincture with the spilanthes and put it in a dropper container, and I gave some to my daughter-in-law for my grandson this year, who is teething. And they put just a little drop and rub it in where his gums are hurting. And he's really been struggling with that, with, his gums hurting. He even tells them his mouth hurts. And at nighttime, they brush his teeth, and then he goes right to it and he wants it. He asks for it to be put on his gums. And he goes, when they put it on there, he just goes, ah. It just relieves it and helps him. So that makes me, as a lolly, super, super happy, because that is a natural remedy to help him get some relief from teething. And if you have babies or grandbabies, then you know teething can be rough on them and rough on the parents sometimes. Okay, next is going to be sage. I've got a good bit in my garden, so we're not going to do a whole lot of it, but I am going to start some. I like to keep it going. Now look, this seed is a little bit bigger. See, it's a little bit bigger. So it can stand to have a little soil on it. Not a whole lot though, because it is still a small seed. Kind of a rule of thumb when starting seeds is to go about twice the size of your seed deep, and that's it. I think that's where most of us mess up, is we plant our seeds too deep. I'm guilty. Now once we get all of these sown, we're going to put them in the house. I have a grow shelf set up that has my grow lights and some heat mats, and I'm gonna put this on that heat mat until it germinates. We all know sage as a culinary herb. We use it at Thanksgiving, we use it in sausages and seasonings, but it's also a very good medicinal herb. So this is garden sage. It's beautiful in the garden too. It's absolutely beautiful. It has this silvery foliage on it, and it produces these beautiful purple blooms. The bees, the pollinators love it. But it also has a lot of medicinal uses. It's an antiseptic, anti-inflammatory, astringent, demulcent, expectorant, get all that mucus and phlegm out of you, astringent, anti-inflammatory. It has a lot of different medicinal benefits as well. It's great to make like a sage tea to help with digestion and stomach issues as well. So sage has a lot of benefits other than just culinary. And peppermint. You can't ever have too much mint, I don't think. But don't plant this in your garden. Grow this in a pot somewhere, because it is very invasive and it will take over your whole entire property. We did a design job one time where it all had to be cleaned out before we put in my new design plan. Well, the mint had taken over their whole yard. It was crazy. So be careful planting mint out in your garden. Peppermint is this microscopic seed here. It is so tiny. I can't even show you, it'll blow away. It is super tiny. So we're just gonna sow this right on the soil. I'm probably not even gonna cover it up. When I water it, it'll get it, you know, it'll push it down a little bit. Peppermint sometimes is hard to get to germinate because that seed is so tiny. And it'll go too deep. So I like to put a lot of seed, and then hopefully a few will come up. Okay, peppermint. I think everybody's probably familiar with peppermint as helping with digestion, heartburn. It also helps with headaches, pain relief. It's anti-inflammatory, decongestant. It's a nervine, which means it helps calm your nerves. Antispasmodic, antimicrobial. Lots of benefits to peppermint. And peppermint is always a great one just to throw in any tea blend, just to help add that extra yummy flavor to your tea blends. Because if you're like me, if an herbal tea, I don't care how good it is for you, if it don't taste good, I'm not gonna drink it. Okay, that's all we're gonna do from the Deluxe collection today except calendula. And I am gonna sow some calendula, but I'm going to sow it in a thing all by itself because I'm gonna be growing a lot of calendula. So I'm just gonna sow it all by itself in a tray. Calendula, oh my goodness, the benefits of calendula. I love to use it to make a salve for my hands and my feet, and just a good healing salve. And it's a beautiful flower in the garden. It's so beautiful, but it's also really good to make some healing teas with. It's antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, antispasmodic, antifungal, antimicrobial, antibacterial, antiviral. So many benefits to calendula. It's a great one to make a little tea with. You know, maybe add something else with it, like tulsi or lemon balm or something like that, but makes a really good tea. Really good for you. So I will be sewing it, but I'll be doing a whole big old tray of it. All right, let's move on to the premium collection. What are we gonna sew here? We got motherwort. I think I have plenty of motherwort, but I'm gonna go ahead and sew a few just in case for some reason they don't come back. I'm sure they will, but I like to be better safe than sorry when it comes to motherwort, the herb for mothers. And it's also a really good one to help with your heart and heart palpitations. So I've been taking a little bit of motherwort tincture because I have Graves' disease, and it helps with that. Okay, mullein. I have plenty of mullein, so I'm not gonna do it this year. Yarrow. I have more yarrow than you possibly can need. I won't be doing it. Catnip. I have plenty of catnip. Bee balm. I have a good patch, but I'd like to add some in a few other places, so I am going to start it. Feverfew. I have some that more than likely will come back, but just in case, I'm going to go ahead and start it. Hyssop. I do need to start some more hyssop. Hyssop has kind of a short life. It is a perennial, but it usually only lasts about 2 years, so I need to sow some more of it. Horehound, I've got more of it than I possibly need. Somehow Horehound got pulled up and put in a compost pile, and I have it popping up all in my raised beds. So I definitely don't need this. All right, get my little cards out here so we can show you what they look like and talk about each one. I love these little informational flashcards. They're so cute. Okay, let's start with Bee Balm. So Bee Balm is in the mint family, and it will spread. It will spread in your garden by roots and by seed. But it's not really like invasive like your peppermints and spearmints. It will spread, but it's so beautiful and it smells so delicious. And what a great pollinator and beneficial insect plant. It is beautiful. You may have heard of bergamot tea. Well, that's Bee Balm, Monarda. So it makes a really good tea. It's great for digestion issues, heartburn issues. It's antidepressant, antifungal, diuretic, expectorant, antiseptic, antispasmodic, analgesic, antibacterial, so many wonderful benefits. Now the reason it got its name Bee Balm is because if you get stung by a bee, you can pull a leaf and rub it on that bee sting, immediately takes the bee sting away. Bee Balm. I like to make a tea with it for digestion issues. And I love the smell of Bee Balm. I just love the smell of it. All right, we're not gonna sow a lot of this because, like I said, I do have a pretty patch in my garden. Just wanna kinda add it to a few other places. A good garden design rule is repetition. So I like to, if I've got Bee Balm growing over here, I might wanna put it in a couple of other spots, just so that when it's blooming, it kind of moves your eye around the whole garden. So I like to repeat things throughout the gardens and the farm and just create repetition and unity throughout the whole farm and all of the gardens. Just kind of makes the design and the flow of everything real cohesive and beautiful. So just a little design tip there. Okay, let's do motherwort next. Leonoris cordacea. It is an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. It's also been called lion's tail, because see the bloom on it? See how it kind of looks like a lion's tail? Pretty cool, really. Very neat plant, in the mint family as well. But it is carminative, diuretic. It is a nervine, antispasmodic, anti-anxiety. It's known as the herb for mothers. Back in the day, they gave it to mothers right as they were going into labor. I'm not suggesting you do that. I'm just telling you what they did. It's good for helping to calm those anxious mothers. It's good for a lot of great things. And like I said, motherwort is also really good for your heart. Next is feverfew. So pretty in the garden. It looks a lot like chamomile. They're both in the aster family, Asteraceae family. And some people have some allergies to that. So you want to be careful with that. But not everybody, but some people do. So you might want to take caution with that. And if you don't know, maybe just try a little bit and see how it affects you before you try a whole cup of tea or something. But feverfew is antiseptic, analgesic, great pain reliever. A lot of people use it who have migraines. I don't have migraines, thank the good Lord. So I've never used it for that, but it would help with headaches. Antimicrobial, antispasmodic, it's a nervine, anti-inflammatory, many great uses. I make a tincture with mine and then use it for headache or, pain. Now, feverfew and chamomile both do not like our heat here in the South. So they do well in the spring and in the fall. But during the summertime, they're not gonna make it. They're gonna burn up and wilt away. Chamomile, I kind of treat it as an annual here. And feverfew too, sometimes I'll have it come back because it does reseed. And I might be surprised this year and have a whole bunch of it because it did make it through my summer. But usually they just burn up because of that heat. They do not like it. And I've even tried planting it in the shade and they still burn up and they don't like it. So I learned a real good secret though with the chamomile this year. I grew it, I started some seeds in August in the greenhouse, and then I've overwintered them all winter in the greenhouse. I actually have some that I planted in the garden in the fall, and they're doing okay. Good many of them died during the freeze, but there's a few that's doing well. So those plants are gonna give me a head start this spring to where I can get a lot more blooms, which is what you want when you're growing chamomile. You want those little flowers. So I'm excited about that because I think that's gonna cause me to have a bigger harvest this year. So that's my new secret with chamomile, is I'll be growing it every year in the fall and planting some in the garden and overwintering it in my greenhouse to give me a head start, because as soon as summer comes, you can forget it. It's gonna burn up. Hyssop, anise hyssop is so pretty, y'all. It produces these beautiful purple blooms. Let me find it. The pollinators, the beneficials love it. Such a beautiful addition to the garden. And it smells yummy. So it is an antioxidant, antiseptic, a stimulant, antispasmodic, digestive, carminative, sedative, expectorant. This I like to use in a tea for just like feel like I'm getting a cold, for digestion issues, and it's included in my sleepy tea, our Just Diggin' Z's tea. And it's just so beautiful in the garden. That is another great benefit about growing these herbs. They are companion plants and beneficial plants to your garden. They help attract so many pollinators and beneficials to your garden. And the cool thing about most of your herbs is the fragrance that they put off. They are pest confusers. So a lot of your bad pests, your bad guy insects, they don't like herbs. So you can plant herbs next to, different vegetables or fruits or different plants that have a lot of insect issues, and the fragrance that these herbs put off, they deter the bad guys from coming to attack and devour your plants, that your fruit and vegetables that you're trying to grow. So they're excellent companion plants in so many ways. I think it's so super cool that they're deterrents to the bad guys, but they draw in the pollinators and the good guys. I think that God is just so incredible how he created everything to work so beautifully and synergistically together in nature. Like, it just amazes me. And this is our last one, y'all, from the herb collections that we're going to be sowing today. I'm going to be doing the calendula and the roselle and the Tulsi basil next week. And I've got a bunch of other herbs that I'm going to be starting that's not in our collection, like chives and parsley and dill and cilantro and culinary basil. There's quite a few other herbs I need to start from seed, but this is all we're going to start here together. This video is probably already running long, But I just want to encourage y'all to grow some herbs. If you're new to herb gardening, grow some herbs, y'all. They are great additions to any garden, to your landscape around your house, to your flower garden, your herb garden, your vegetable garden, your fruit orchard, any garden. They're an excellent addition for so many different ways. And then you can use them. You can use them for culinary purposes or medicinal purposes. They attract beneficials and pollinators, and they confuse other pests. So many benefits. There's so many different herbs that you can grow, and I guarantee you, if you're not growing herbs and you start growing herbs, then you're gonna be hooked. And you're gonna be searching out and growing all of the herbs that you can in your climate. So just a little encouragement today, if you're not growing herbs, grow some herbs, even if it's just a couple of things, and you'll be captivated. I guarantee it. If you want to get our collections, I'll put the link in the description below, and you can go over and order these collections. Halls has some other great herbs as well on their website. If you don't mind, use our link. We would greatly appreciate it. And I think that's it for today, y'all. But thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. It is so good to be back in the groove of doing these videos with y'all and creating this content. I took a break for a couple of months, and I missed y'all, and I'm so happy to be back hanging out with y'all. I love gardening with you guys. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. God bless you, and I hope to see y'all next week.